and reporters. She was a great innovator, always keeping us ahead of other newspapers. She was one of the first media employers to embrace information technology and got most of our staff to embrace it in order not to be left behind. Each time you entered our office, as in the 90s, you found Dr. Abiola always on a laptop. She was the one that revolutionized the Saturday newspapers. Much has been said about that. As is the weekend paper that will be different from the normal daily, as we used to have, with the advent of Weekend Concord, which became Concord's best national seller at that time, before the rival publications followed. The newspaper's empire she presided over was truly national, as Concord publications were the first to reach the nook and cranny of Nigeria. She was instrumental to the employment of some of the best professionals in the country, in the stable. The surprising thing that merged with Dr. Abiola was a sudden interest in politics. During the preparation for Basharon M.K. Abiola's election on June 12, 1993, she saw her mobilization ability on display. She was able to rally around her own constituency, different professionals, and several other community leaders she could contact across the country to ensure her husband won the election. The remarkable moment was when the election was annulled and the Concord Group of newspaper was shut down. She quickly floated another newspaper by calling later Laji Lateef Jakon, the former governor of Lagos State, in order to borrow a title from his table. The paper was called the Daily News, and I was made the editor until the ban on Concord Group was lifted by the Babangida regime, before it was shut down again by late General Sani Abacha. Sorry. The second closure of Concord by the military created another challenge requiring new thinking. There was no need to float another newspaper. She created an underground group to link up with the pro-democracy movements, both at home and abroad. The editor of our stunning newspaper, then Mr. Dele Alake, Mr. Segun Babatokwe, chairman of our editorial board, and myself, as group political editor, were the only members from Concord, linking up with civil society movements at home and abroad. The constant professionals, with the likes of Professor Patu Tomi and Litunde Akinleye, political and civil rights actors like our current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Professor Wole Soyinka, and later Alao Akaba Sharon, and Lisbeth Korason Kuti, among others. As Professor Olatunji once reminded us in his memorable tribute to her, Dr. Abiola was the intellectual face of the struggle, the discreet mobilizer who maintained and used effectively a network of influential persons in Nigeria and abroad. She brought to this task accurate political intelligence, a cosmopolitan outlook, steely disposition, and mastery of the emerging communication technology. I also recollect at that time how our wonderful daughter, Doyin, would often come back from her secondary school, the Atlantic Hall in those days, in the evenings, meeting us in our mom's sitting room, either holding meetings with some groups or faxing some subversive documents to political exiles abroad. All she would say to us while leaning down is the "Good afternoon, uncle," and to her room she goes. It was really a very challenging moment of struggles, pains, invading security, monitoring, and threats. Those were the challenging periods and moments up to the painful death of her husband, Basharon M.K. Abiola's, that Auntie Doyin had to pass through. She herself has finally escaped assassination in her living room, went through the almighty grace. She suddenly shifted her position when the bullet struck. Lastly, let me quickly inform the distinguished mourners present of some of the long-time lessons which those of us who have been with her have learned from her noble teachings while working. Most fundamental was that she would always say, always stand for something. Always stand for something. This is philosophical, particularly for those privileged in holding leadership positions or called upon to be vanguard of public conscience, like newspapers and public institutions. Because when you're asked to deliver a public good, your conscience matters. She reminded us, just like Otman Dafodio once preached, conscience is an open wound. Only the truth can heal it. So may I say to our humble and gracious daughter, may your days be long. May you be accomplished. May your children be greater than you. Thank you.